Disclaimer: the following is a true crime-style dramatization of pre-existing fictional media. The rights to said media belong to their respective rights holders, and any resemblance to persons living or dead not stated in the original media is merely coincidental, and honestly, would be pretty wild.
Hello and welcome back to Real Strange Tales, where we delve into the strange, violent, mysterious, and macabre tales that take place in our real world. I'm your host and narrator, Mike Howes, aka Slaughterhouse.
And I am also your host, Cody McLaughlin, aka Culty McBlaglin,
McBleflin?
like a vampire says.
Oh, you mean McBleflin?
Yeah, McBlaglin. What's up with this vampire?
I didn't say it was a vampire.
I'm leaving.
That's just one of the theories about the evil forces at play.
Okay, well, you've hooked me.
That was easy.
My foot's asleep.
I'll take it. So today we're headed to the 80s to take a look at some mysterious blood-related crimes that seem to center on a single apartment complex.
I think that would be pretty neat if a bunch of vampires just rented out an apartment complex for themselves.
That's not what this is about.
Yeah, but let me daydream. It would be like What We Do in the Shadows, but everyone gets to mind their own business and visit each other here and there.
That sounds more like Friends than What We Do in the Shadows.
And everyone's super pale. It is like Friends. I think we'd have a hit TV show. Friends We Do in the Shadows.
I think your title needs work.
Maybe we ensure the ratings. We could make young Sheldon one of the vampires.
So just have like a super smart vampire kid?
No, just literally young Sheldon.
But if he were a vampire, he'd never grow up into adult Sheldon.
Damn. Prequels are hard. I'm gonna have to work on this idea, though.
While you do that, I'm going to start the story. In 1983, a small suburb in Los Alamos, New Mexico experienced an especially snowy winter. Temperatures never rose quite high enough to rid them of the accumulation.
Is that the voice you'd use if you were a weatherman?
Being a weatherman isn't something I've really considered, but I probably...
Is it because of your face?
No, wait, what? What's wrong with my face?
It's just hard to trust. Something about it. Like, if you told me it was going to be 97 degrees, I'd probably just be like, I better grab a jacket.
You don't trust me?
I do, but when I see your face telling me these things, you seem shifty. Like, when we record these, you tell me these are true stories, but it feels like you could just be reading me made-up stories.
I'd never do that to you.
Yeah, I know, buddy.
A local man named Scotty Tate was kidnapped from his car. His body was later found in the woods, strung up and drained of all his blood. The container that held the blood seemingly spilled a short distance away.
Draining people's blood is one thing, but it's a whole new level of wrong to do all that and just waste the stuff. Like, if you're gonna be that clumsy, just chug it.
I'd say just don't drain people of all their blood, regardless of what you plan to do with it.
Actually, what if maybe they were pouring one out for their fallen homies?
That's ridiculous.
Oh, true. It's a vampire, so maybe they pour one out for all the people that are still alive? All the alive homies?
A pattern emerged in that a lot of the activity related to the New Mexico blood thieves centered around a single apartment complex. A jogger from this complex would disappear without a trace soon after Tate's murder.
Yo,
What up?
New Mexico blood thieves is like the coolest name I've ever heard.
Yeah, man, if we knew how to play instruments, we'd have a hell of a band name.
I do have a question, though.
What's that?
So in this case, New Mexico is covered in snow, yes?
Yes.
But that Heisenberg dude lived in New Mexico.
Walter White, he did.
Okay. So all those weirdos that idolize him, he's always in, like, a desert. Deserts don't have snow. I think that's what makes them deserts.
That's true, yeah. I mean, New Mexico has a pretty diverse range of temperatures depending on where you are, really. Plus, the story takes place in the 80s, and our planet is dying much more than it was then. But there are desert parts and mountainy parts that get snow.
Okay, cool. So kind of like Maryland.
Maryland is more so a weather sample state. Nothing is consistent. You get everything. Plus, we have all of the spooky stuff: Hannibal the Cannibal, the possession of Reagan McNeil, the Blair Witch of Burkittsville.
Wait, the Blair Witch is from Maryland?
The Blair Witch is in Maryland. You've never looked into that case?
No. I don't mess with no witch junk. Hell no.
All right. If anyone would like us to cover the Blair Witch of Burkittsville, let us know in the comments.
Mike!
Very little speculation about the events that took place in 1983 leaves out a young man named Owen Oscar, a 12-year-old boy who lived with his mother following the divorce of his parents. Owen was described as a lonely, isolated child and was often a target for bullying by his classmates Kenny, Mark, and Donald.
So he started draining people's blood?
No, well, look, it's going to spoil a bit, but I don't want you to sound like a jackass. This is not an Andy Barkley situation. Owen goes missing and remains unfound to this day.
Oh.
Don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, you didn't know.
Guess I'm the one with egg on my face this time.
Oh, you're just being Cody about this, huh? Okay, Around the same time the disappearances began in the area, Owen began spending time with an unnamed girl his age on the playground at the center of the complex. Nobody knew who she was, or who her guardian was.
Oh, he was probably licking the pole.
What?
Like in A Christmas Story?
Jesus Christ.
What? What else are you gonna do on a playground when it's snowing?
Throw snowballs? Build a snowman? Come up with ways to describe that don't make you sound like a pervert, or just play on all the same equipment you would if it wasn't snowing.
Okay, yeah. I didn't have gloves as a kid, so I didn't think of that.
So you would get your tongue stuck to dirty public poles?
Yes.
Hoping to gain the upper hand on his bullies, Owen asked to stay after school and work on strength training with his gym teacher, Mr. Zorik.
I wish one of my teachers taught me to kick ass.
I don't remember you having a bullying problem in school.
I did.
Well, damn, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
My problem was that I wasn't strong enough to bully anyone.
A few nights later, a student named Seth was leaving the school when a classmate, Matt, asked for a ride. This very well could have saved Seth's life.
The buddy system. That's the stuff. You got my back, I got yours. Speaking of, I need you to go to the bathroom with me.
Why?
Because you mentioned the Blair Witch, that's the rule.
What do you mean, rule?
Look, I don't make the rules, I just conceive of and enact them. Let's go. My balls are full of pee.
I'm not going to the bathroom with you.
If I get bewitched, you're gonna be sorry.
Not as sorry as I'd be watching you pee. Seth stopped to fill his gas tank. Matt waited while Seth went inside to pay. After running into a few classmates, Seth began a conversation with them that was cut short by the sound of his car starting up. Looking over, he saw a strange man behind the wheel and Matt unconscious in the passenger seat.
Oh, the buddy system just saved Seth's life. Matt still got, huh?
The students chased after the car as the mysterious assailant drove off in a panic. The car would go off of the road and tumble down a hill, killing Matt instantly. The assailant, however, survived.
And I'm sure the bastard got away with it, too.
What makes you say that?
We're only like 10 minutes into this episode.
That's assuming that he's working alone.
Oh, Chasquito. Right. Colt, let's go.
Alleged Colt. Hearing the teenagers that were on his tail closing in and having no time to escape, the assailant reached into his bag and pulled out a plastic container and twisted off the top. He poured the contents of the bottle, sulfuric acid, over his face, allowing the fluid to eat away at his skin.
I'm having trouble believing this.
Elaborate.
He had acid that could dissolve his head, but somehow carried it around in a bottle?
That's not how acid works. Acid isn't just hot soda.
Seems a lot like it's just hot soda.
No, it's a chemical, and chemicals react differently with different things. The plastic doesn't cause a reaction, so it's safe to transport it, assuming it's sealed. But when it comes into contact with skin, the reaction begins and the acid starts eating at it.
I guess I thought it was just like hotter hot sauce, but carbonated.
Hot sauce isn't hot either. It's also a chemical reaction. That's why when some people are trying to get squirrels away from their bird feeders, They'll use spicy seed or suet because mammals taste spicy things and say, hell nah. I mean, besides the two of us. But birds just taste birdseed. Their bodies don't react in a way that makes it taste hot.
Okay. At this point, can you just tell me about vampires instead of this weird Bill Nye, the real tall guy thing you're doing?
Despite his attempt to take the easy way out, the assailant survived and was rushed to the hospital.
Like that court guy in Gotham?
Yeah, like him, but they kind of react to surviving acid wounds to the face a bit differently. At the hospital, a detective paid a visit to question the man about the incident. He was hooked up to several machines and was unable to speak. The detective offered a notepad to communicate, but was called out of the room to the reception desk.
God, I bet that dude was bummed. All right, I'm out of here. And now you're missing half your face and some detective guy is giving you homework?
Yeah, probably a bad call to kidnap teenagers because you might end up melted and needing to write words.
And they'll probably come in later. Hey, it's pudding time, but you don't have a mouth anymore, so we're gonna have to put it in you the other way.
That's not how hospitals do that.
Then how do they give you pudding if you can't eat it?
They just don't give you pudding.
American healthcare is in shambles, dude.
The receptionist claimed that a pale, barefoot young girl had walked in out of the snow claiming to be the man's daughter, asking what room he was in before disappearing into the night.
That's scary, but sounds more like a ghost than a vampire. Vampires wear shoes.
And ghosts don't?
Ghosts don't have feet.
They said she was barefoot, not footless.
She was also pale and disappeared.
Which are also things that apply to vampires and Batman, but who said it was a vampire?
Oh. Was it the girl kicking it with Owen?
That's the running theory, but that nurse hasn't seen the girl at the apartment, and nobody at the apartment was there when the girl asked about him.
No security footage?
This was 1983.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Security footage still kind of looks like shit now. The 80s, it was probably just a game of Pong.
Upon returning to the assailant's hospital room, they discovered that he had thrown himself from the window, leaving a note that simply read, "I'm sorry, Abby."
Yeah, and he squished his legs and they had to drag his legless ass back up there?
No, he died.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
After this, the public's paranoia began to die down, the public assuming that he was just a psycho with an odd obsession with blood that was now out of the picture.
Ah, yes, letting your guard down. Classic tactic.
However, one last surprise awaited Owen's physical education class as the students were allowed to go outside and play on the ice-over body of water outside of the school.
That seems dangerous.
1983.
That seems apt.
Kenny once again decided to target Owen, who used a metal barrier pole to defend himself, swinging at Kenny and splitting his ear open.
Look, I know that Kenny is also a kid and probably has a bad home life that makes him try to reclaim control by bullying others. I get this. That being said, get his ass, Owen!
The fanfare over this was soon overshadowed by the discovery of a body, that of Jack, the jogger from Owen's apartment complex. He was also drained of blood, and it was determined he was killed at roughly the same time as Scotty, one last present from the New Mexico blood thief.
Didn't you say he disappeared without a trace?
Yes.
So, a body is kind of a big trace.
Yeah, but nothing before the body hinted at what happened, so there were no traces. Just the conclusion.
Uh-huh. Sure.
Back at the apartment that night, two residents, Larry and Virginia, were walking their dogs when an unidentified woman leapt from a tree and bit a chunk out of Virginia's neck.
Dude, what the hell? People are actually getting their necks bit?
They sure are. It's uncertain of whether Owen witnessed the attack, or if he was traumatized by the body he found, or if he was feeling guilt over what happened with Kenny. But he called his father to ask if he believed in evil.
Wait a few years, kid. Howie Mandel is coming.
What is with you and Howie Mandel?
He knows what he did,
Does he?
if you read my letter.
At the crack of dawn the next morning, the detective visited the hospital, now operating under the suspicion that the man he'd encountered was part of a cult that worships Satan.
Worship is weird,
I agree. I've never been to a church for anything but a wedding, though.
but I don't know. Worshipping Satan seems weirder somehow. I don't think he's as demanding as God. Total pick me girl. Come to my house. Talk about how great I am. Look at this special bowl of water. It's like normal water, but it's my water, so it's special.
Your God impression sounds a lot like your Anna Kendrick impression.
If you're coming to my house this Sunday, you better dress nice.
Getting a lot off your chest there, huh, bud?
Okay, you having a good time? Give me money. Put it in my special money plate.
All right, we're going to switch to the narration track, and hopefully he's done by the time we come back. He offered an artist's sketch of the man who Larry recognized as a man from his building. However, he didn't know his name or whether or not he had a daughter.
Now participate in my play.
Wow. Larry seems like a cool dude, at least. Minds his own damn business.
They're looking for a guy that's kidnapping teenagers and stealing people's blood.
He didn't know that. He just wants to walk his dog and appreciate all the meat on his gal pal's neck.
Ew. Nearby, Virginia's hospital bed would burst into flames, killing both her and a nearby nurse. Though the fire severely damaged the bed and the surrounding area, no mechanical issues or gas leaks were found to be the cause.
You said this was the crack of dawn?
Yeah.
Vampires are weak to the sun.
Or so the legend goes.
You know what that means?
What?
Crack kills.
Ugh. The detective then traveled to the apartment on his own. The room was later found with the door kicked in, the room covered in blood splatter with clear evidence of a struggle. The detective's body would later be found in the basement storage area. Of course.
Drained of blood.
Drained
Knew
of
it.
blood. Owen attended his after-school strength training session. However, Mr. York was called outside due to a fire in a dumpster that was later determined to be caused by Kenny, his older brother, and their friends to lure York outside and lock the door so that they could exact their revenge on Owen for Kenny's injury.
I'm all for starting dumpster fires, but I don't think I'd be about kicking a kid's ass.
That seems morally righteous of you, but I'm sure you're going to ruin it in 3, 2...
But then again, I mean, unless you're Cat Williams, that's an easy win under your belt.
Kenny and his group rushed out all of the students from the pool hall besides Owen, leaving them alone with the boy. By the time Mr. York made it inside, all of the bullies had been slaughtered, dismembered, and were left unrecognizable.
Holy ass.
Yeah, the descriptions that go into more depth, they're not pretty.
Can you tell me?
Not here.
Can you send me a link?
Already did.
Hell yeah.
After this, the murders and disappearances had come to a complete stop. However, Owen was gone that night, and hasn't been seen or heard from since. He would be in his 50s today. The young girl, assumedly named Abby, was once again never seen or heard from after that point.
And there's no indication that Owen was a part of the, body slurry left behind?
Nope, no Owen bits.
Alright, well, let's roll to the next segment.
And this is our last segment where we prod Cody's smooth, exquisite head for his professional analysis of the case. You ready, big dog?
Hit me, big dog.
A lot of blank spaces in this one.
More blank spaces than my most recently played list on Spotify, huh? Taylor's version, of course.
What are you talking?
Because, as you all know, we're big Tizzle Swizzlers. So if you love the football lady as much as us, hit that subscribe button.
Okay, I think football's been over for like 2 months, but like I was saying, a lot of blank spaces in this one. Anything you think you can fill in for us?
Oh, without a doubt. First off, who the hell is that girl?
Presumably named Abby, yeah?
Maybe. Whatever. Name isn't important. She's a vampire, but not the Batman kind of vampire that also likes to hit people. But then again, maybe Batman's just a violent vampire?
This is about the New Mexico case, not Batman.
Right. Thanks, Boo. But I was thinking that if she is a vampire, maybe this two-facey guy... Damn it, I brought up Batman again. Sorry. But I'm thinking maybe that was like her dad? Or someone taking care of her?
Oh, like a guardian.
That is another word for the thing that I said, yes. But maybe, I don't know, his daughter wandered into the attic, got bit by a radioactive bat, and her dad was like, well, gotta get her some blood.
Okay, but why kidnap and string people up?
To make the blood come out more. What do you mean?
I don't know, it just seems like maybe you'd be able to buy a bucket of pig blood from a butcher shop or something.
I don't know about you, but I'd only want my child to eat the best food possible, which is why my cats sustain themselves on the crumbs left on my shirt.
I saw Sarah fill the bowl when I came in.
She's always doing weird shit in the house, man. It might have been one of her hobbies. I know the cats eat shirt crumbs.
Okay, what else do you think?
Well, with the detective and the bullies, there was blood everywhere. So I don't think that had anything to do with the vampires. I think that was Owen whooping ass.
Man, don't turn this kid into a Rambo 2.
Alright, fine. But what I said still stands.
No, it doesn't. The detective was drained of blood, too.
In a different place, I'm just saying, maybe Owen whipped ass and said, "Yo, Abby, I heard you like to drink this stuff. You want it?"
So you think Owen tore apart several people bigger and stronger than him?
Never underestimate a cornered beast.
Okay, so why do you think they were working in tandem?
Maybe like lonely kids gotta stick together, I guess? She can only go out at night, and I don't think night school is a thing anymore. So he stands guard in the daytime, she stands guard in the nighttime, and they get to sleep and eat and... Oh god. I hope Owen's not eating those dry-ass leftovers. I'm done talking about this. What's next?
Well, next time we're taking a look at obsession and fandom culture with a case involving a pretty popular rapper.
Luda!
No, it's the story of Stanley Mitchell, the Eminem-obsessed man who did some unfortunate things.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm ready for that.
So join us for that, share this episode with your friends, leave a comment on what case you'd like to see next, and most importantly, keep it real.
And keep it strange.